Smashers, Philly Sports Love and Pain, Drunk on Broad, Beer Battered Sports, and the Fired Up Sports Show, which are available on all major podcasting hosting sites and social media. Also, check out Mark Ramos' Roundup on firedupsports.com, which breaks down the happenings going on with all your favorite local teams.
Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions.
E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles!
Oh,
What up? There we go.
what up? Listen, we're
There we go.
on mute.
Sometimes we just keep it muted. We want to keep our thoughts to ourselves. It happens.
Listen, sometimes if you don't have something nice to say, don't say nothing at all.
You know what, Don? Life lessons. They're just being learned today. There's a lot of life lessons learned.
It's a lot of life lessons learned. Like, don't underestimate a team that's played really well in the last couple weeks and think you're just going to roll over them and just show up. And they got more than a game from the Panthers, who, you know, they kept it interesting.
Shoot.
But
Yeah.
when it didn't need to be.
No, Carolina's been playing well. They're like an inspired team, man. Like Bryce Young's finally figuring it out. You know, they're playing well. You knew it was going to be one of those games. I mean, they almost beat the fucking Chiefs, right? They almost beat the Chiefs. You knew it was going to be a game. Like it wasn't for the faint of heart. But you know, Don, the Eagles' passing game is looking bad. It's looking bad.
It's at the bottom of the league, Rich. Let's just keep it real. And considering the weapons that you got, like, Jesus Christ, what else are you supposed to do?
You shouldn't be afraid to throw the ball, like, down the field, like, with these wide receivers. I forget who it was. One of the ex-quarterbacks was breaking it down, and he was breaking down. No, it wasn't Orlovsky. It was Chase Daniel was breaking it down.
Okay.
He was breaking film down and showing just like A.J. Brown being wide open for majority of the game. And Jalen Hurts is like staring at him, but then takes off and runs. Or throws an underneath route. Or just...
The one play early, it might have been on the first possession early in the first quarter where you run a play action, you've got the tight end underneath, you've got A.J. Brown up top, and you got Dotson in the flat. And A.J. Brown... There was not a person that was even on the screen within 20 yards of him. And he ends up escaping the pocket and checking down to Jahan Dotson. And I think that's where the sentiments of what he shared after the game is where that comes from. And I think it, like, now that we've had a couple of days removed, they've all talked since the post-game stuff. They've all talked since BG spilled the tea.
Yeah.
And I think it all comes from a good place, right? I think it comes from a place where they're all like, listen, if we want to win and we want to get better, we got to be better at this. We cannot be this deficient at this part of our game, because even if they are 15th in the league.
I was going to say, even if they're like 15th, 16th, like, Jesus Christ.
I mean, you should not be passing with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Saquon Barkley. You should not be 14 for 21 for 108 yards.
No.
So,
no,
listen.
You should be throwing for at least 275 a game. Like, a game. And I'm not even mad. Like, Jalen, like, fucking make another mistake, dude. Like, stop playing, like, with the fucking, like, something up your ass, dude. Like, get the stick out of your ass and have some fun. Like, I feel like he's so afraid to, like, turn the ball over because he doesn't want to go down that slope that he's not taking risks. But, bro, scared money don't make no money. Right?
I mean, I think that on some level, if you want to keep defenses honest, you got to go up top.
You got to throw the ball deep.
And I think that play that I'm describing is a perfect example of like what Your offense in the first quarter of games has been horrible.
Yeah.
They have been terrible to start the game. So if you're going to call a bunch of bullshit plays and like dink and dunk around the field and go 3-and-out, well, why not go up top?
Yeah.
Like, why not just like run the play action, run AJ and Devontae, like you run Devontae across the field, you run AJ on a deep cross, and throw the ball up top. And worst case scenario, you turn the ball over at around the place where you'd be punting the ball anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't fucking matter.
And it's so early in the game that with this offense, the way that it can run,
You're fine.
you will have more than you'll have 7 or 8 more possessions to be able to make up that.
Yep. I look at it as we all know that Jalen's just playing a little scared right now, and they should figure it out because you're going to need to, man. Like
You're gonna have to figure it out on some level.
I don't know what happened there. Somebody called me, so my phone went a little weird. That was strange.
We're all getting phone calls this time of year, Rich.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like, who the hell's calling me at 7:30? That's not my wife. Please don't call me, whoever you are. But like, you can't rely on Saquon Barkley to get 2 touchdowns and rush for 2. Like, you don't want that. Like,
No,
we want that, but like, you don't want that to be like your recipe of success, and then just have like, all right, Jalen Hurts, just don't fuck up. Like,
yeah,
what? Like, who's really the quarterback of this offense? If that's the case, this dude's running for 250 on 20 carries. Jalen Hurts is throwing for 100 and 108 on 14 pass plays. Like, what the fuck are you doing, bro?
yeah.
Like,
And I mean, especially when you consider, like, I think we have all acknowledged what this team is, but that doesn't mean that because Saquon Barkley is the centerpiece of your offense, because he's in 14 games rushed for more than 1,600 yards and is in wildly elite company with OJ Simpson and Jim Brown.
yeah,
I think it doesn't mean that you have to abandon the rest of it.
no,
There can, even if you're going to only pass like 21 times, you can still be better at the 21 attempts. The 21 attempts, like the statistics, the next gen stats about the amount of time he's able to drop back, and he's getting more than 4+ seconds
he has
of
fucking
time
plenty of time to throw the ball.
right.
Like,
But
what are you looking at?
the amount of time that he's got in the pocket isn't translating to better plays. It's translating to a lot of checkdowns and
him
throwing
running
the ball away.
when dudes are wide open. Like, dude, just
Yeah.
fucking sling it. Like, Jalen,
Yeah.
come on. And like, every time we're just like, and it's funny, it's like, Eagles fans are just finding ways to complain. Only time, your quarterback scores 3 total touchdowns and you complain. It's like, yeah, we complain because we want them to be better.
Right.
Like, you should have smoked Carolina, and AJ Brown should have had 300 yards. Like, come on. Like, let's be real. Like, yeah, we're complaining because we want our team to do better, and we know that Jalen can be better. No one's saying, oh, bench Jalen, his quarterback play sucks. We're just saying, like, bro, what the fuck are you looking at? And throw the ball to your wide open guy. Like, stop making this harder. And why does it look like every single fucking time I watch film with you or film on you, it looks like that you're staring that wide receiver down and then you don't throw it to him?
It's wild.
It's
wild.
goofy.
And this, yeah, the stat that I'm talking about is from Fran Duffy, who does some really great work with the video breakdowns with PHLY. But he's got 22% of his dropbacks last more than 4 seconds. The problem is that on 41% of those plays, it results in a throwaway or a sack.
That shouldn't happen.
Like 2% of those throws go for 20 or more yards.
That shouldn't happen.
That's right. That is a huge
Even
problem.
bad quarterbacks can sit back there with time and find a guy open. Like, one of your wide receivers will be open. Cornerbacks will not cover them that long. Like, come on.
And this is this feels like this is a very, 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 very watered down version of this offense that we've seen from Kellen Moore in in San Diego and
Yeah.
in Dallas. And when you look at one of their best offensive positions, right, you've got, every person on the offensive line minus Cam Jurgens all ranked within the top 10 at their position. Like,
Yeah.
you can and should lean on these guys. And I think they do, but I think you need the quarterback play to be better, because when push comes to shove, when we talk about the NFC and the top of the NFC, in clearly the Eagles and Lions are head and shoulders above the rest.
Yeah.
Right? In since I think week 2, those two combined teams I think have only lost once.
Yeah.
You're seeing what this team can be, but I think when you look at the quarterback that's on the other business end of that conversation, Jared Goff has just as much weapons, but what you see him do is manage the offense really efficiently. Get the ball out, get the ball in the hands of his wide receivers, of his running backs, his tight end, all his weapons. He's just getting in the ball, and he
Yeah.
lets those guys do what he's got to do. I think
They scored like 55 points a game on the reg because he just gets the ball out to his playmakers. That's
Yeah.
all you have to do. I mean, yeah, he throws picks. I mean, Jesus Christ, he throws 5 interceptions in one game and they still win. But he's still getting the ball to his playmakers. He's okay. Jameson Williams, you know what he's good for. Yeah, he's hitting him for a 40-yard pass down the field. When was the last time that you saw like Jalen Hurts actually throw like, oh, there's a 40-yard pass, oh, there's a 30-yard pass completion? Like, it's been a while. It's been a while,
I
and we
mean,
need to see one.
yeah, I think for me, right, I think that this week is going to give you a really good opportunity to be able um, to get on this Steelers team early, right? And I think you want to be able to get up top and take advantage of the the matchups that you have on the outside. You've got some really favorable matchups on the outside where you can really take advantage, because I
Yeah,
think that they're going to be tough inside. They're going to be tough to run on. I
always.
mean, but I think if you have the same kind of game plan that you had with Baltimore, I think that you can attack this team in a very, very similar way. I think you can wear them down. You take advantage of your weapons on the outside, and then you rely on Saquon Barkley late. That to me is the game plan that really kind of lines up with where this team can take advantage of the misgivings of what is a really good Steelers team.
No, I agree with you 100% on that one. You got to do the same thing that you just did to Baltimore, and you have Russell Wilson, who's playing well, but they don't have any wide receivers to go this week. Um, they're a great team because they're a great coach and their defense keeps them in it, and so does Chris Boswell because that guy's just automatic. But like, let's be real. The Eagles should trounce this team. The Eagles should beat this team by
Mm-hmm.
11, 12 points. Like, it shouldn't be close. But it's all indicative of how their passing game is this week. We need to see the wide receivers, get theirs along with Saquon
Yeah.
Barkley. Like, this is one of those games where you need to come out and you need to have Russell Wilson throw. Like, that's what you
Oh
need.
yeah.
You need to get up early and have Russ beat you with his arm. Because Najee, he's a big back. He can wear you down. Jalen Warren, another talented back. Like, they love getting their backs involved. Make Russell Wilson beat you. Don't let
Yeah.
Pittsburgh's defense beat you.
Yeah, I think if you run if I'm the Eagles, I take advantage of my offensive line. I run right at right at the edges. You don't give, because like we talked about with that deep pocket and that four.
Yeah.
If you give this defensive line of Pittsburgh 4 seconds,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to create headaches for yourself.
Yeah.
This has got to be quick hits, get the ball out. That atypical AJ Brown, 5-yard slant and get the ball out. That play is open all day long. And that's a play that you got to rely on because you can't leave Jalen Hurts in the pocket for 4 seconds and think that TJ Watt is not going to give you a fucking monster migraine all goddamn day.
Especially if you have 4 seconds to throw the ball. If you have 4 seconds to throw the ball, it means TJ Watt's being blocked. Like you better be able to pick apart this defense. Like it's unheard of that you have 4 seconds in the pocket. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi.
Yeah.
4 Mississippi. That's 4 seconds right there, and you can't find somebody open. Like, come on, man. That's an eternity for a quarterback as good as Jalen Hurts. So, man, just start playing like it, bud. Just start playing like it. Feed 11, man. Feed 11. I don't care if you guys aren't friends anymore in real life. Like, that's on you guys. Like, come on. Just feed the man.
At this point, I don't like friend, not friend. It does like that stuff doesn't really matter to me. Like I need you to play well on the field.
Business.
It's and the quote out of all of the things that have been said this week, the one that had resonated with me the most was when Jalen Hurts said, "When did winning not become the main thing? If winning is the main thing, and we keep that the main thing, then we're doing it. We're doing what we got to do to win games."
Yeah.
Right. And the way that they've won games this year, leading into because they're almost right around the same point as they were this time last year. They all feel different, right? Last year we were trying to figure out how they would win, how they were winning. They were winning almost in spite of themselves. They looked terrible. The vibes were awful. This team feels different. Even with this, what had gone on from Sunday to Wednesday.
Yeah.
It feels different because it feels like they've really navigated this kind of and even the leadership from Jordan Mailata, right? His ability to be able to be like, we're on to Pittsburgh. We're trying to keep this. We're trying to stay focused. We're trying to win games. We're trying to get to that number 1 seed, right? Because that's on the table this week, right? Because if you can take care of Pittsburgh and Buffalo can go into Detroit and you know, and they're coming off a loss in LA. If they're trying to, you know, they're trying to get the number 1 seed. They're trying to catch KC. I think you have the ability to be able to take a stranglehold on that number 1 seed, right? And the home field advantage of being able to play Detroit at home in January outside, that team does not translate well to playing outside. And this was one of the things we talked about way back in August when we were looking around and looking at the different schedules. The amount of games that Detroit has played indoors all year long.
16 of 17 games on their season, on their schedule, are indoors.
So imagine having to play all those games inside, and then all of a sudden in January, you got to come to Lincoln Financial Field and play when it's, 4 degrees and the grass is frozen.
Yeah.
And you're trying to, I like our chances, and I like the way that this team translates. But you look at the way that this defense is played. Your boy is wreaking havoc. Jalen Carter, another game, man.
It's outrageous that he is still not getting any holding calls. It's outrageous. That last play of the game where he was drugged down by his neck and then gets up
literally
and makes the play. It's just getting egregious. Like it's what is the NFL looking at? Like what are they looking at?
What does he have to do? It's almost like he's got to be coached to figure out how to show how bad it is by like exaggerating the movement. Like if he feels any kind of tug on the shoulder pad or the face mask.
Though that's the worst part. The dude had
him so bad
and threw him to the ground and was holding him when he was trying to get back up. Like I'm like, dude, this is like it's. Make it stop, Don. Make it stop.
It really is wild. But the thing that I love about him and the thing that is so cool to see is how much of an effect he's able to have on a game, even though his stuff doesn't show up in the stat sheet.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a beast. Like
he's a beast. Zach Bond is playing consistently to the point where you might want to consider him. I mean, I'm sure he'll get some. It's wild to think, but I'm sure he'll get some votes for Defensive Player of the Year.
As he should.
The Quinion Mitchell with another. Now he wasn't locked up on one guy, but I think the of the guys that he covered, I think it was less than 20 yards.
I didn't
combined.
even attempt to throw to him. They were picking on Slay and Coop was getting taken to the shed by old man Thielen, but that guy's a pro.
Yeah. He's a pro's pro. You know what, Rich? He would have been a great guy to add at the trade deadline.
Oh, Adam Thielen, he was hurt because he had the hamstring. It was real bad. But he would have been I would have loved to have Adam Thielen.
Right.
Like a sure-handed guy, old vet. Like that would have been, who can still ball the frick out. Like, yes, I would have taken it.
If he can get open on a team that has absolutely zero weapons, and he's got Bryce Young throwing him the ball.
Bless you.
Thank you. Just wild.
Yeah.
Wild to see.
1,000%.
But they pull it out on to Pittsburgh.
Yep.
What is the biggest concern for you with Pittsburgh?
Mike Tomlin's a good coach. So Mike Tomlin can easily say, all right, we're going to sell out, stack the box, and send the rush all day.
Right.
Make Jalen beat you. I mean, because right now, like, that's our weakness right now is our passing game. So he could come out and just, line up in a bear defense. He can line up in a gosh darn, 5'2", 4'6", whatever the hell, whatever he wants to be in. I mean, they can just sell out and be like, Saquon, we're going to stop you. Jalen, you got to beat us. And can Jalen respond and beat him? Because Mike Tomlin's awesome. Mike Tomlin is a phenomenal coach. Again, he's getting it done. Has another winning season. Has them, right. I think, atop the AFC, right?
They're at first in the AFC North at 10-3. And I think on a season where they had them written off and solidly considering them as the third best team in that division when you look at the Ravens and Bengals. And all he does is win.
Yeah.
He doesn't he's the kind of dude that is like, okay, give me the shittiest food in your pantry. And I'm going to dice something up and I'm going to make it gourmet.
Yeah.
Like he just wins. He doesn't lose. And that's the mindset of this team has really great leadership, right? And Russell Wilson is playing better than he did when he was in Denver. Maybe not as good as prime Russell Wilson in Seattle, but he's doing what he needs to do to be able to get this team right. And you see them kind of intersperse Justin Fields to be able to, on the times where they really want to try to run the ball, which is kind of a weird spot for Justin Fields, but they're figuring out and
they're winning.
Think about the think about the position that they were in, right? Justin Fields played well enough the first couple games, and he's like, no, we're going to go with Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
And did it with conviction and goes, well, that's why they pay me. They pay me to just make those decisions. So I think when I look at the leadership, right, you've got, but the offensive weapons outside, like Pickens is going to probably not play, right? So you're looking at Van Jefferson and Calvin Austin and Scotty Miller and Mike Williams. And the best pass catcher on there might be Freiermuth.
Yeah, it is. And Jalen Warren, their running back. Like, their offense does not scare me. Like, even George Pickens, it does not scare me as much as their defense and just their coaching in general. And I still don't think the Eagles lose. I really don't see the Eagles losing.
I think you go on offense early. I think you go. Your defense needs to go on the offense,
and that's
like your defense needs to be like. Well, I think what you saw with the game in Carolina was kind of like a little hiccup, right? You saw there was the letdown from you're coming off playing at LA, at Baltimore. You got Carolina at home. They're
trap game. It was your that was your trap game.
Right. And the difference between this year and last year is last year they lost that game. Right. That game against Arizona when Arizona had no business being in that game and they found a way to lose. Where in this game, and let's be honest, they're a Xavier Leggett arm extension away from probably losing that game. But
yeah,
that's the way the cookie crumbled. But I like the way that if this defense can be offensive and get in Russell Wilson's face and stop Najee Harris and really put the clamps on Pat Freiermuth, I think you have yourself the opportunity and you have the weapons on defense to be able to do that. This to me seems like you have the ability to be able to kind of get yourself back right and really start feeling yourself going down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, defense has to come in a huge game. Get to Russell Wilson, get to him early, get a few interceptions, and set up your offense in the first quarter to be able to score early and in good field position, and see what happens. I really still think it's like a 12-point game. I'm going to say like 29-17 Birds. Like,
Okay.
looking at it, I think Saquon gets his, and we're just really going to be like relying on it. I just think it's going to be one of those. I can't really even call what their offense is going to do or what our defense is going to do. I just have a good feeling about it. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just hard.
No.
Like, there's no matchup that like I'm worried about on their offense versus our defense.
No, and that's the thing. I think the more challenging matchup is obviously the Eagles' offense against the Steelers' defense. I think when you look at the matchup, when you look at T.J. Watt and Patrick Queen and Cam Hayward, right? You have guys that are going to get matched up against. You're going to see a lot of strength on strength when you see those guys out on the edge, right? And those guys going up. If T.J. Watt's going up against the edge, right, and he's going to be going up Lane Johnson all day long. Yeah. That's a matchup I'm excited to watch. But their defense versus our offense is going to be, I think, more challenging than in reverse. I think they'll have a lot of success on defense in their ability to be able to turn the ball over and really try to get this team. I think what you said is a good point, right? Get them in positions where they can win the game, where they can get short fields, easy scores. I think this is like a 33-13. I think this is like you can kind of salt it away late. And I don't think that you get the score late. I think you have the ability to be able to score points. And I think they do try to make an effort to get the ball to AJ Brown up top early. Yeah. I think you could see one of those T.O. to start his career, just go up top early, let him run deep, try to run under the ball, and just really just establish the game plan early, man. It's all. I think it's all birds. I think it's all birds on Sunday, and I think you start to look at opportunities to figure out how you get Saquon his record, and I think you figure out how to get Saquon rest and figure out how to because if you can't catch the Lions, you're going to need to be able to have that game at the end of the season where you're going to be able to get those guys rest.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what's our magic number now? Our magic number is
magic number. What, to get the 1 seed?
No. To get the 1 seed, we need Detroit.
I mean, they're in the playoff berth is clinched.
All right, so we clinched that. We clinched the NFC East yet, or what's that, number 1?
I think it is 1. I think it might be 1.
I think if Dallas, because Dallas lost. So if no, Washington won last week. No, Washington was on a bye, right?
Washington was on a bye. I'm going to pull it up.
So if Washington loses this week, then I think the Eagles win the NFC East.
Yeah, because the Eagles are 11-2, and the Commanders are 8-5.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Commanders lose, Eagles win the NFC East.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, just lock it up and just get it done quick. Like, let's go.
That's right.
And then we just need Detroit to hit a cliff, which I think Buffalo is going to be pissed off, especially after the Rams.
when you all right. So real quick on the way out, I'm going to give you Buffalo's schedule and I'm going to give you the Eagles schedule, or I'm going to give you Detroit schedule and the Eagles schedule, the remaining games.
Okay.
Right. So at Detroit, at Buffalo, or Detroit's playing Buffalo at home.
All right. I like Buffalo there.
Okay. They're playing at Chicago.
Lions.
At San Francisco.
Lions.
Home against Minnesota.
Lions.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they're three. That's right. So you're saying that they end the season.
Yeah, it's tough because I don't think Minnesota is honestly
with two losses,
49ers,
right?
49ers lose tonight. They have no reason to freaking try.
Right, and then when you look at the Eagles, right, you're essentially saying that in order for them to get that number one seed, they gotta win out. Mm-hmm. They gotta win out and hope that because I don't know. The other hard part is I don't know what the tiebreaker is. I know I'm coming on here with not a lot of information.
I think the tiebreaker
but
is mutual teams beat or something, right? Or some shit like that. I think we both lost to Tampa Bay.
If that's the case, though, then I think, if that's the case, right, and I say if, right, the common opponent is what is Green Bay. Green Bay is a common opponent.
Yeah, I think it would be that because we both lost to Tampa Bay.
And we both beat Dallas.
We both beat Dallas.
Yeah, so that one. Wow.
Yeah, I forget. I'm gonna look it up and figure it out what it is, but we need to worry about our own self. 2,
true.
I mean, and we just got to handle business. Doesn't matter if we're the 1 or the 2. I do have a good feeling we can go in there and be completely fine.
Most definitely.
Would it be awesome for them to come here? Yeah, and that's what we all want. It just sucks because the Lions are just playing real good football. So.
Yeah, well, it'll be exciting down the stretch.
Yes,
we got the college football playoff coming on. You're going to start seeing NFL games on Saturdays because the college games are not playing. So it's a lot of football, to talk about, but should be exciting going down the stretch.
Oh yeah.
On the way out, you got any final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Ollie, what's your final thought?
About what?
I don't know about anything. You got anything good you want to share? You want to share anything?
No.
No? You don't want to share anything good?
No.
You want to wish everybody a happy holidays?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Wish them all a happy holidays.
Happy holiday.
So there we go. We have happy holidays from Ollie.
Nice.
We watched that. I think it was the Dear Santa movie with Jack Black.
Ooh, okay.
When so little boy is dyslexic and he writes a note and it's supposed to be like a Santa Claus note, but it's instead of saying Dear Santa, it says Dear Satan. So Satan comes up, grants some wishes and stuff.
Oh, I love it.
Honestly, dude, phenomenal movie. You should watch it. I
love it.
Sad. It tugs at your heartstrings. There's stuff that goes on, and you're just like, But man, I thought it was funny.
That's cool.
Me too.
Ollie too.
Nice. Kip and I watched Deck the Halls last night. We got Fred Claus on the docket. Those are some classic go-tos. I'm going to give you a couple things to watch, Rich. One, I'm excited to watch the Mike Schmidt documentary that's coming out tonight.
Oh yeah,
it's on the MLB Network. There's a Jeff Stoutland NFL Films Stoutland University half-hour show on it's on FS1. And then I saw on Amazon Prime there's a behind the stories 5-part documentary about the making of Madden, which is really, really cool. It's called It's in the Game. It's all about EA Sports and stuff. It's really cool.
Yep, sounds like a good time.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, guys. I'm not going to give the
Go Birds.
The normal ones. Go Birds, guys. Go Birds. Say
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Oh, jeez.
Happy holidays.
Go. What's spilled on the floor?